into it. Right, so perfect. So yes, so in the nutrition call, what we'll run through is basically everything you can see here, Rod. So
Yep.
in terms of it's start off with your routine. So again, as Dill said, thank you very much for sending over the pictures on WhatsApp. I don't know, sometimes when I do this, can you see the WhatsApp now?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can see it now.
perfect.
We can see it now.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, thank you very much for sending this over. This is the reason we do this is one, because when anyone comes on board, we do not want them to be giving up foods like this. Obviously, the foods that you love, the foods that's part of the culture, everything like that. So it
Yep.
gives me an understanding of what type of food you are eating first and foremost, and obviously like little bits like teas, coffees, snacks, what type of stuff you like. Because, like I said the other day at the in-person event, if you're not enjoying the foods that you're eating and it feels like a diet as such, I don't even like to call it that because if it feels like a diet, you probably won't stick to it.
Yeah.
So we just want to get an understanding of the types of foods that you actually do enjoy first and foremost and do eat. And then from there and from today, we can basically just create a game plan around those foods and how much you should be eating, where you can reduce portion size, for example, where you can increase protein, increase fiber, all that stuff. So yeah, thank you again for sending this over. And obviously, you can probably see from going through the pictures as well, it's quite carb heavy, things
Yeah.
like that. So that's what we get an understanding from through the pictures as well, where we can just increase other things rather than, I always like to say, we want to add things in rather than take things out and reduce things essentially. So
Yep.
yeah, in terms of the actual plan of the call, we'll go through your routine. So just to back up what you've sent over, what type of times you eat in, what type of foods you mainly eat. Obviously, I know it changes from day to day and whatnot,
Yeah.
and how your work schedule balances with the food. Then we'll go through something we like to call calories under the radar. So just foods that you don't really think add calories to your meals, for example. And
Yep.
then, like, for example, if you have like two teas a day with sugar in and milk and stuff, like just adding little bits here and there.
Yeah.
We'll run through all those when we get to it. Then we'll run through like supplements, any that you're sort of taking at the moment, any that we'd recommend. As you'll get to know, like I'm very much whole foods first and diet first. But if there's anything we can add in, like with the weather changing and no sun, like vitamin D, stuff like that,
Yeah.
things that we typically do recommend anyway. And then a big thing for me is gut health as well. So we'll touch on that a little bit as well. And then what I forgot to add is once we've got everything from today, I'll create a plan for you and a game plan going forward so that you don't really have to think about much. This is what you need to sort of do. This is what will help you out. And then we crack on from there and I'll monitor your nutrition as we go along, basically. But yeah, sorry for the slightly long-winded explanation, but does that all make sense
Yeah.
about this?
No, no, that sounds good. Yeah. I'd rather be well informed, so don't worry about that. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop speaking now, and if you can, just speak to me. Just tell me like what sort of times do you roughly have breakfast? What time do you have lunch, dinner? What does that often consist of? What's your
Yeah.
routine looking like?
No, that's fine. So with my lifestyle, it's a bit of a weird one. It sort of gets you can segment it into like different ways. So during the work days, for example, you've got me working from home or going to the office, for example. So the days that I work from home, I'll probably ha wake up around between 7 and 8. By the time I normally it depends with breakfast. So I'd say I have breakfast from any time between um, 10 o'clock to around 11 o'clock. The reason for this being is that I normally have meetings from 9 to 10. So I'd say that's probably the optimal time I want to have breakfast, but I can't because I'm getting bogged down with stuff. So I think during the days where I'm working from home, during the weekday, I think 10 to 11 is when I tend to have the breakfast. And because I have it a bit late, then my lunch ends up being a bit later than usual. So lunch would be anything between 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. I'd say that's my lunch. And then dinner will end up roughly being between any time between sort of 7 and 9 p.m. Again, that fluctuates depending on how hungry I am or if I've had snacks in between and stuff like that. So that would be like sort of my working from home work day. In terms of when I'm in the office, it's a bit better, I guess. So I'll probably leave home around 7:30. So I'll have breakfast around 7-ish.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, between 7:30, I'll have my breakfast and then go to the office. In terms of lunch, I'll probably try and have that between 12:30 to 1:30 for lunch. And then I'll have dinner when I get back home. So normally when I get back home, I'm probably hungry by then. So anything between like 6 to 8 o'clock. I'd have it maybe probably closer to the 6, 7 mark, but yeah, 6 to 8 p.m. is probably like the rough timing. And then on the weekend, it's sort of a free for all. So it's a
Hmm.
combination of both. I'll wake up, I'll probably have breakfast between like any time between 8:30 to 10, I think, roughly, thinking about it. Uh, Lunch wise, it'll probably be around 1 to 3 p.m. ish, let's say. And then dinner wise, it'll be something around 7 to 9, sorry, 7 to 9 p.m. on the weekend. Yeah, I've given wider ranges because it definitely depends on if I've had snacks and stuff with throughout the day, but I think that's a rough guideline of how I have my meals.
Perfect. No, that's brilliant. Why we ask about like the timings and whatnot is just obviously to the types of meals, the structure, when you're eating, why potentially you're eating more, why you're hungry, things like that. So that's
Yeah,
perfect. And then just to elaborate on the routine side of things, then obviously, like I said, I know it's going to change from day to day, but
yeah.
what would you say, like, what's a typical sort of breakfast look like? What's lunch? What does dinner look like? Snacking as well? Like, what sort of snacks are you having at this moment in time?
Yeah, so normally my go-to will be either like a cheese sandwich, I normally go for a quick breakfast, so it'll be like a cheese sandwich with tea or probably a cereal. Right now I've been just having Weetabix, so it'll be Weetabix and that'll be my breakfast essentially. Um, those are my two main go-to breakfast options, unless mom or siblings have created cooked something up, then I'll have that. But yeah.
Okay.
I
I
know.
think one thing you guys will realize is when it comes to food, I'm very lazy or like I don't like the hassle sometimes,
I
so I
know
just go
it's
for
all
quick and
good.
pronto.
And
That's
like I said, you all identified over time at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
I noticed you like a nice little Indian chai. Do you like chai in the mornings?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love
Yeah.
that as well, yeah.
So tea wise, it's like, yeah, it's like in the morning and then sometimes in the evening I'll have it. It depends in the evening, but if my parents are having it, then I'll be like, yeah, give
Yeah,
me
go
another
on,
cup
pour
of.
me a cup. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah. Why not?
yeah, exactly.
that's fine. That's fine. Okay, perfect. So breakfast, cheese sandwich, cereal with tea. All right, cool. And then what's lunch sort of looking like?
Lunch, again, it depends. So lunch when I'm working from home, it could be sort of depending on what days, it could be lentil, pulses, whatever mum's cook basically for the family. So there's not, yeah, it will be that. It could be chicken, it could be fish, prawns, like a curry basically. Uh, yeah, pasta. There's a lot of options basically out there that I'd have. When I'm at the office, I will probably it varies. So I might have a Subway. I might have a Itsu rice ball. So there's a chicken teriyaki rice ball that I'll probably just get, or a veg rice ball from Itsu. So I'll probably get that. Or I'll just go to like Sains's and Tesco's, just get a meal deal for lunch. Those are sort of the three main things I have.
What?
Uh,
Sorry, Raj, what did you say the first one was?
the first one was a Subway, sorry. Yeah.
Subway.
Yeah, Subway or like a burrito or whatever's close by. There's quite a few shops in London, so you can
Okay,
always get something.
no worries. Okay, perfect. And that's office one.
Yeah,
Okay. And then in terms of dinner, what is it? Just sort of like obviously dinner's the one that sort of changes quite often. Is
yeah.
that like a mum will cook it, or would you cook for yourself? What's the crack there?
So normally it would be the same food item that's been cooked at lunch. So normally she just cooks for the day, so I'll just have whatever was cooked, unless there's another dish that's been cooked, but it'll be again the same lines as what lunch is.
Mhm.
It'll be like with rice or with some chapati rolls and stuff like that. So stuff like that.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And then just to touch on like the snacking side of things, do you snack quite often? What do snacks sort of typically look like for you?
Yeah, I do snack quite often. I have phases where I snack crazy in a week, and then sometimes I might not. But it'll mostly be like, um, so if I'm in the office, it'll be like snack bars and stuff like that, Belvitas, protein, all that stuff. Um, then it might be crisps. So you've got yeah, crisps and stuff like that. I'll snack on. Um, maybe some fruit, so a banana or an apple or something like that. Um, and then yeah, sometimes during night, depending on how early I've eaten dinner, I might get a bit of a craving. So I have a thing where I like having like ice cream or ice lollies.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but yeah, just that's kind of my go-to when
Cool.
I go.
Raj, coffee. Do you have like coffee?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, coffee, or it'll just be like a rocket or a cornetto or something that's cold. I think it's more the craving of that. Yeah, it's not every day I do it. Like obviously during the summer it was happening more often. Maybe during the winter it's not as much, but it's still there.
Okay, perfect. No, that's good to know because I know snacking is probably one of the biggest problems for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
we work with a lot of people who do have snacking, including myself. I used to be like the CEO of snacking, so don't worry, I've got plenty of tips and tricks
Okay.
and obviously the rest of the nutrition will play into that snacking because I
Yeah.
would say like snacking it happens because obviously we're not full up or satiated from the meals from the rest of the day a lot of the time, so obviously once we start to improve those, then
Yeah.
we'll notice that snacking will naturally just become a lot less because you'll feel a lot more full, and we don't want to snack when we've went up at least full essentially, so that
Exactly.
obviously
Yeah.
helps as well. Yeah, just to touch on why I said why snack. You said sometimes you snack more often than other times. Would you say like is it during periods of stressful times at work or family that you tend to snack more, or is it times when you just haven't eaten much throughout the day, or like why do you tend to snack most often, would you say?
I think yeah, it probably comes down to a bit of work stress. I think during the work day, yeah, definitely it's to do with work stress. If I haven't eaten a meal at a certain point and I've got hungry, then I'll think, okay, let me just have a snack, and then I might end up just skipping that meal sometimes. So, for
Okay.
example, if I have a snack, I might not have lunch, or vice versa. I might not have dinner because I've just eaten late. Um, Sometimes maybe on the weekend it might be more where I'm just
Bored.
bored. Yeah, exactly. Just walking around the house, I see something, I'm like, okay, let me just have it.
Yeah.
So I think those are the two sort of main things. Yeah. If
Yeah.
I'm hungry, yeah, if I'm hungry, I normally think about if I'm close to a meal. If so, then I'll just long it out until the meal. But if it's a while to go, then I'll just end up, yeah, having a snack.
Yeah, spot on. Like when I asked you that, I knew those were going to be the main sort of answers because it does often snacking does come down to work stress. Like something happens, you get given a task, or
Yeah,
just not going to plan, and often like as humans, that's a go-to for us. Just turn to a quick snack, makes us feel all right for a bit, but
yeah,
we know it doesn't work for our goals often.
exactly. Yeah.
And if it does, we can, like I say, plan ahead snacks for the evening because you mentioned evening snacking, and that's quite a common one.
Mhm.
And it often ties down to the last thing that you said, um, boredom. Like when you think about it, weekends, you're not obviously not working, so your mind's not occupied, and then you
Yeah,
just go and grab a snack. In the evening, again, you're winding down, you've had a busy day, your energy's low, and you're often going to turn to a snack because it's just, it's the convenient thing to do. You've
yeah,
got no energy, your body wants energy, so you grab a snack, a chocolate bar, ice cream, ice lolly, whatever it is. So,
exactly.
yeah. That's absolutely fine. So like as long as it's the three common denominators, then we're all good. We can work
Yeah.
around that. So that's absolutely fine. And then evening tea is just another little snack sometimes here and there. So
Yeah,
that's
it might be just the tea, or might have a few biscuits with that if I
yeah.
feel like, but again,
Okay,
depends how
perfect.
hungry I am or how snacky I feel.
Yeah. No, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant because this is just like gives us so much to work with because we understand the routine, understand why the snacking happens, what sort of snacks you're having, when you're out and about, when you're in the office, what type of food you have on
Yeah,
lunch break. So it gives myself and dinner so much to work with because when I cook up the plan, I know that, you often go to Subway. Okay, I'm not going to tell you to stop going to Subway. Obviously, there's better options, and if we can prep things, yes, brilliant. But over
exactly.
time, that
Yeah,
will start to happen. But at the start, can we just make smarter choices when we do go to Itsu, Subway, Meal Deal, whatever it is?
yeah.
But yeah, in terms of that, then just a question on that. Obviously, like I see, like mum cooks a fair bit and whatnot, and you do get meal deals and things like that. So for you, is it a case of you're looking to, start preparing things yourself? Or is it you just want to understand how I can, okay, with mum's cooking, with food out, how can I incorporate that into my routine to achieve my goals and to be a lot healthier as a result as well? What would you say where your head's at with that type of thing?
I think for me right now, it's more. I'd say it's a bit of both. in terms of my mom loves cooking, so I don't want to stop her from cooking because she gets, I guess, I don't know, joy from looking after the family sometimes. So, what I could, if in terms of that element, what I'm thinking is maybe if I get that knowledge of bits where I can help her, say maybe do this rather than this, then it would benefit everyone. But also, I want to also just try a different route in terms of following a recipe to focus on myself first. Let's see how it affects me. And then maybe that's something I can then hand down or incorporate, and then I can help, cook something for the family, give her a break and stuff like that. I think there's two elements of that which I'm looking to do. I think that if I do the second one where I'm cooking for myself and seeing how it benefits me, then maybe the second half would then come into, okay, how can I incorporate this into my everyday food that my family eats and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant. I think like mums just love cooking. Like they do
Yeah,
love cooking, and like you say, like you don't want to stop your mum from cooking because she obviously wants to look after her boys, her
yeah,
kids, and whatnot. And also, like if you can learn from myself and Dylan, like how you can make these meals a bit more better, like healthier and higher in protein, higher in fiber, these things,
yeah,
then that everyone else will benefit as well. And it will just make life a lot easier for you at times when you do have a busy work day, for example, and you do come in from the office.
yeah,
If mum's cooked up a meal that's, still the same, she's still cooking it up, but she's, using less oil, for example, so it's less calories. She's adding more protein sources in, adding more fiber. She's going to
yeah,
benefit, you're going to
yeah,
benefit, and it saves you time. So yeah,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. But also the fact that you do want to learn yourself is brilliant as well because it will save you money in the long run because you'll be
Mm.
picking up things as well. It will be better for your goals. You'll feel better. You'll feel more energized, and obviously will change the physique. Which once we learn everything, everything comes together, and we can basically just crack on with you learning, but mum's still cooking as well. So
Yeah.
that balance, which is good. Perfect. Yeah, this gives us a lot to work with, which is brilliant.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry.
in terms of the next thing, then.
You hear
So
me?
the calories under the radar. So why we touched upon this is obviously we're looking to lose body fat and stuff like that. So calories under the radar are a big thing because obviously we're going to need to be in a calorie deficit. That's the only way to lose body fat.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, because you're eating less, your body's obviously going to sometimes, have cravings and whatnot, and that's completely understandable. But
Mhm.
we want to use food, so volume foods. We want to prioritize protein and fiber because those are the two nutrients that are going to keep us full. And essentially, we just want to not feel, starving and hungry in a deficit. And by doing those things, that will help us. So calories under the radar are things that, just take up a lot of calories, but don't really do much for us in terms of filling us up.
Yeah.
So these are the main culprits, really. So I know that through Dylan, through working with a lot of clients in the South Asian culture, there is a lot of oils that get used, and like ghee as well, like all these things, and it just
Yeah.
adds up calories. So, obviously, at the moment, mum is cooking a lot. Do you know what sort of oils she will use to cook in?
Yeah. It'll be sunflower oil.
Sunflower oil.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's it's just literally just that all the time, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's fine. So what we say is, when it comes to oils, the one thing that will straight up recommend to everyone, especially in a deficit, to save you so many calories, is just getting yourself a spray. Just get yourself a spray. And
Okay.
I can send you over one that I use. I'm sure there'll be a sunflower one. I use an olive oil one, and it's just literally pure olive oil, but in a spray form. Or what you can even do is you can buy off Amazon like a £1 spray bottle and just
Yeah,
pour the
yeah.
sunflower oil in there. And all that does is why we like to highlight this is because you might not even know, but in a tablespoon of a lot of these oils, there's around 120 calories.
Okay.
And a lot of us don't just put a tablespoon in our meals. We'll be just
No.
drizzling it on that pan
Yeah.
and everything's getting cooked in it. And then that just adds so many extra calories you don't even really think about. So by getting yourself
Okay.
a spray, one spray is like 1 calorie, 2 calories, and
Yeah.
you're still using the oil, but
Mhm.
you're just using a lot less calories as a result. So that's a really useful thing to start with. So spray will help massively there in terms of oils. In terms of alcohol, do you drink? If you do you drink much? What's
Yeah, alcohol I do drink, but it's very rarely. It's only through socials. If I go for socials, I'll probably just have a pint or two of beer, depending on if I'm going on a night out, which I haven't gone for a while, then it might be like a pint or two of beers and then spirits.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of spirits, it'll be probably, let's say,
Vodka lemonade.
yeah, vodka lemonade, rum lemonade. The thing is, I do end up mixing between vodka and rum.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it'll probably be like doubles of 4 to 5, yeah, glasses, say maybe. Depends on the vibe, but that's, let's say, good. That would be the max, and then I'll stop and have water and stuff and call it a night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, perfect. In terms of alcohol, like obviously you like to check this one because if someone is a big alcohol drinker, goes out twice a week, for example, pints
Yeah.
after work, this and that, then that's something that we've obviously got to look into a bit more because that will add up a lot of calories over time. And often with the alcohol thing, it's not even the alcohol, it's the takeaways that come as a result or the next day
Mm,
decision fatigue, like that side of things. But yeah, in terms of yourself, if it's like a very rare thing and you don't drink much, then that's not something for us to immediately worry about,
yeah.
to be honest.
One thing I have done is like when I first joined my company that I'm at like 4 years ago, I was drinking quite a bit. But I think within the last year, I'd say even if there's like socials, I've refrained from drinking. I'm just having soft drinks. So I don't know if that's good or not, but it'll be still like, Coke and Sprite and stuff like that. I don't really have the alcohol. Um, so yeah,
Mm.
I don't know if that maybe I could make better choices from the soft drink alternatives, maybe. But yeah, again, we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
No, thank you. Thanks for telling us that. And I think when it comes to the soft drink side of things, obviously we'll touch on that in a second anyway. So that was the
Yeah.
next one. But yeah, there's always like, in terms of calories, in terms of that side of things, there's always a better option you can go for. Like we actually had this at the in-person event that we did the other day, we were talking about it. And when it comes to soft drinks and this and that, like someone said, is it better to have a Coke or is it better to have a Coke Zero? Now, when you look at it from like a fitness perspective, a gym pro perspective, of
Mm.
course, having the Coke Zero, having the diet, Pepsi, Pepsi Max, this and that, calories wise is better.
Yeah.
Obviously, both of them have stuff in, Pepsi Max has sweeteners, normal Coke has sugar. Like, they're either way, they're not going to be the best. But if you're not having it all the time and it's just a one-off and it's, you're having it because you're out and, you're out with work and whatnot. If you're having a Coke, like one Coke and it happens every month, you know,
Yeah.
then that's completely fine. If it's a daily thing, then obviously that's something for us to consider. But yeah, just off the top of that, if we're looking at calories wise, yeah, if you don't mind the taste of Coke Zero or Pepsi Max, then you may as well get that because it's going to save you 200 calories, which you can have in your meals and whatnot on that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's obviously something that I'll cover in the plan as well. But yeah, may as well while we're touching on it. In terms of soft drinks, do you have many soft drinks throughout the week, or is it just that work type of thing?
No, soft drinks I do drink quite a bit. I normally have a glass, maybe a two, if I talk about a normal routine, per meal. Um, so let's say if I'm working from the office and I get a meal deal, I'll have a bottle. So that's what, 500 ml, I think.
Mhm.
Then yeah, when I'm at home, I'll have yeah, a glass or two per meal, depending on how thirsty I am. Again, I try and restrict myself to one glass, but sometimes I'm just thirsty and I'll have two. But yeah, that'll be per meal, and then maybe drinks here and there. Let's say throughout the day, excluding meals, I'll have an additional 3 glasses, let's say 3 to 4 glasses, maybe additional throughout the day. In terms of soft drink itself, it'll be like Coke, uh, the red Fanta, maybe some, I don't know, tropical juice or something. It'll be a combination of different things, but yeah.
They are big soft drink drinker then. I,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So with that, obviously, that's something that we can look into straight away because like 3, 4 glasses per day plus the 1, 2 glasses per meal, that's gonna add up a lot of calories throughout
Yeah.
the day. And if yeah, depending on how much you drink per day, that could be like the whole of your day gone just on soft drinks and whatnot. So in
Yeah.
terms of wanting to lose body fat, those things are things that just like add up and will take a lot of calories from you. So like the instant switch is like I said, we want to have everything. We want to reduce everything that's not too good for us, right? So obviously, like having 3, 4 glasses of Coke per day, we know that's not going to be too good for us. So,
Yeah.
and then in terms of calories, like yeah, it will just add up a lot. So off the top of that, obviously, like for myself, when it comes to this side of things, I'm not going to tell you to stop drinking fizzy drinks. Like, even though that would be the best thing to do, it's very tough to just go from three, four glasses per day to
Yeah,
just completely cutting it all out
yeah.
instantly. So like for you, are you someone who can tolerate Coke Zero, Fanta Zero, things like that, or
Oh
do
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
I'm flexible when it comes to drink. I think for me, the reason why I drink so much soft drink, it's again around that craving of sometimes I just want something sweet or cold to drink.
Okay.
And as soon as I get that, I'll be like, okay, let me go to the fridge, grab a cup, and
Mhm.
I'll drink it. So I think if I can, yeah, getting an alternative to help me with that craving, if it's less calories, I don't mind. I can do that. So there was a yeah, I try and do like squash, but sometimes squash doesn't hit the same as a soft drink. So like yeah,
Mhm.
fluctuate
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah. And that's perfect then, because if you're like, I know some people like when I say that to them, they're like, "Nah, I can't drink Coke Zero. Like, it has to be Coke. I need the sugar." Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But for you to be open to alternatives is a very good position for us to be in because we can definitely do some things. Like for me, I was the same. I used to, well, I've never really been a fizzy drink, sugary drinker, but I've always been a fizzy drinker. So like Pepsi Max, Cherry, things like that. When
yeah,
I was, in deficits and things, I would literally get the big 1 liter bottle and drink like
yeah.
half of that a day,
Okay,
just to have that sweet tooth craving. Now that is not what I'm going to recommend at all because that's probably even worse.
yeah,
But like things like even things like kombucha. So I don't know if you've heard of that. Stuff we can look into which are
okay,
alternatives. Because a lot of time when you say like with the fizzy drink, it's more just the cold, the sweet, and a lot of time it's the fizz as well. So
yeah,
even stuff like that, that is a good alternative. Like kombucha is great for your gut. It's got the sweet flavor, but it's all natural. Or even like, sparkling water with the juice. So you still get the fizzy taste that you really want, and you still get
yeah,
the sweetness from it. Like it's just alternatives, which obviously I'll put in the plan anyway, but just to give you an idea of like how we can go about it, to gradually, because a lot of the time, once you do start making alternatives and you do switch, you kind of just don't really want it anyway after a month,
mm,
2 months of it. And then you're cutting out completely, and that's brilliant. That's obviously the end goal. But to gradually reduce it is obviously the goal at the start because we're not gonna, you're starting the gym, you're starting better eating, you're starting this like all at once is just gonna be
yeah,
too much to manage. So how can we just make better choices at the beginning and then gradually work on, reducing it full stop, for example, if you want to. So yeah, that's fine. So that's good to know.
that sounds
Um,
good. Yeah.
oh, that was another one, which I'll touch on. And then so sauces is the next one, like what type of sauces do you add on to things? You ketchup, mayo, hot sauce, what you sort of
Yeah, sauces wise, the go-to will probably be like the Nando's sauces. So it'll normally be like a Nando's hot or medium. You've got sort of like the Indian equivalent of Maggi, which is like a sweet chili sauce. I think that I would go to. And then yeah, ketchup and mayo as well. Those are sort of the three main go-tos, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to sauces, the best ones are ones that you kind of touched on, like hot sauces. They tend to be lower in calories naturally. Um,
Okay.
a lot of people use hot sauces. Again, with these things, it's like a case of obviously, they're adding up a lot of extra calories. A lot of them have, additives, things like that, which aren't the best for us as well. So if we can just reduce, like you can have a lower calorie mayo, for example, a lower calorie ketchup, low sugar one. And then eventually, you can make, people now who've started working with us initially started doing that, but then they realized they don't actually need that. And they started making their own sauces with like Greek
Mm.
yogurts and things like that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like I say, eventually that's a great end goal. But to start with, like we'll just start by reducing calories, for example, or, if you do want to do that, yeah, you can start doing our own sauces and things like that.
Yeah. I think with sauces it depends. So
Um,
going back to my diet, I think it depends on if there's been anything sort of fried being cooked.
okay.
So sometimes, again, when I come back to the house for everyone, it might be some samosas, spring rolls, or chips or stuff like that on the side. So if that's been cooked, then I'll have the sauces. Otherwise, I don't have the sauces as often, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and that makes sense. Like, like even when people get chips and whatnot, no one really
yeah,
just eats plain chips, want something to.
exactly. Yeah,
So yeah, if we can, get the better options for the time being, and then eventually, make your own or something like that, or just
yeah,
find better options in the supermarkets, then that's fine. But yeah, the initial stage and why this call is so like game changing from the off is just you might have even noticed it already. If you haven't, then that's fine. But like, just having the awareness
Yeah,
of where these extra calories are coming from or where we're potentially going wrong, what we're lacking in, and why potentially, it is harder for us to lose body fat, for example, or build muscle because we're not getting enough of this, we're not getting enough of that.
yeah,
And over time, you'll just become so aware of it that it will become so much easier to just make those changes because like I don't really need that sweet chili sauce, for example, on this. Like it's
yeah,
just I'm just doing it just out of habit now, type of thing.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that's absolutely. But yeah, all the that's what the initial phase is about. The foundation of everything we do at Core Fitness is to make you aware, to start building the solid foundations, like Dills might have touched on. Like when you're building a house, you need the solid foundation, the solid bricks, for example. So us becoming aware, us making better choices, better habits, better routines, it will make all these things so much easier, and not feel like overwhelming at the start. That's the main thing for us, because I know like making the changes is obviously good, but if it feels overwhelming, then after a couple of weeks, you'll be like, nah, I can't do this anymore. It's too much.
yeah.
So yeah, in terms of the last one, then, I noticed obviously like you have your teas, you mentioned chai and things like that. When you do have these type of things, teas, coffees, whatever it is, how many of them to have? Do you have like a lot of milk with it? What type of milk? Blue, green, red? Do you have sugar? Like what's the case there?
Yeah, so with tea, it would be semi-skim, green, the green one. In terms of sugar, I don't really have sugar with it. I have it as it is. Um, I think in terms of yeah, I have the same with my cereal, I guess. So when I have like coffees and stuff like that as well, in the office, for example, I won't put any sugar in it.
Mhm.
Um, in terms of the milk being used in the office, again, that's semi-skimmed, I think. So yeah, I think those are the only instances where I have
Per-
milk.
Perfect. And you don't have how many would you say cups of those do you have a day?
Yeah, so if I'm working from home, obviously the two, let's say, morning and evening, and if I'm in the office, I will have probably around 3 to 4. Um,
Great.
yeah, depending on how low my energy level feels, post
Yes.
lunch, after lunch, to get me through the day.
Mhm. Yeah,
But yeah,
no
in the
worries.
office, it
And I
would
know
just be
obviously
like a cafe latte, or to be honest, I say 3 to 4. It's maybe it's two because what I'll do is I'll go to the office and I'll have like green tea or like lemon and ginger green tea. So that'll be like 2 cups
how.
morning and afternoon, and then maybe I'll have a cafe latte which has the milk, which again would be a cup or two depending on how I feel.
Perfect. All right. No, that's perfect. It gives us so much understanding, just everything that we've already discussed. So that's brilliant to know already. Okay, perfect. And then the last two won't take too long, so don't worry. In terms of like the supplements aspect, I just like to pretty much just get an understanding of any that you potentially do take, and
Yeah.
then just a couple that maybe at the start might be a bit useful, to get the ball rolling, basically. So in terms of supplements, do you take anything at the moment?
I do take supplements, but it's not on a regular basis. So I take vitamin D. Um, in terms of the dosage, let me just double check. I just take the normal one from Vibiotics. It doesn't say the dosage. I think it's 2000 something, whether that is. Is it micrograms or can't remember that the box on me. But yeah, I take vitamin D. I'm taking multivits from Seven Seas, which has like the cod liver oil, I think. Uh, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
know
it
that
has
one, the
cod
red
liver
one.
oil in it. And then I'm taking an Holland and Barrett's advanced immunity tablet, which has vitamin C, D, selenium, and zinc.
Okay.
But again, all of that, it's not on a daily basis. I probably take it like once or twice a week. Depends when I remember or forget.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with supplements because a lot of them like to actually feel the benefits you would have depending on what the dosage and what they say on the thing, but a lot of them you do take daily to.
Daily, yeah,
Yeah. If
exactly.
you're not, then it's pretty pointless taking it anyway, like once or twice a week, because you won't actually get your body won't build up the tolerance to it and what its
Okay.
benefits are essentially. So that's obviously something that is just related really, like you say, to routine, because like you forget sometimes here and there. And
Yeah.
that's normal. Like with supplements, it's very much like a water bottle, like having it. in a place where you see it, like, and one thing we do is like habit stacking. So to someone, I remember just an example, someone who just couldn't remember to take their creatine but has a coffee every morning, just put the creatine next to your coffee machine and
Mm.
you remember it. So that's just a little in terms of the direction and using it. But in terms of supplements, yeah, one thing we would definitely recommend, and Dylan always mentions it as well, especially in the South Asian culture, used to sun and hot environments, and then being in the UK
Yeah,
like it is now. But for most people in the UK, especially during winter, vitamin D is a very good supplement to include, because we all pretty much will be deficient in it,
yeah,
most of us. So that's one definitely. So can definitely start incorporating that regularly. And you said it was the Vitabiotics one that you're doing.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, perfect. Yeah, have a look into that. Yeah, because when it comes to supplements, I'm very big on, like I used to just go to Poundland and whatnot and just grab like a multivitamin for like a pound.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
If you really think about it, like 30 tablets for a quid, it can't, whatever's in it is either pointless or it's just the tablet, so it's pretty
yeah,
important. So again, if we are gonna look into making supplements and taking them, it's good to just get a decent one as
yeah.
well. So I've got a load of ones that I recommend to people and the brands and whatnot. So if there is
Okay,
anything I think might be useful, I'll send that over as well.
perfect.
But yeah, in terms of supplements, like I say, I want to focus on diet first, and then supplement as it is something to support. One, because obviously whole foods is the best thing to do, but two, don't want you to be spending like loads of money on getting all these supplements and whatnot as well.
Yeah,
But there are a few that are decent, so we'll touch on those. So vitamin D, definitely one of them. Um, Another one to consider is if you're not getting many sort of like omega-3s, so like if you're not eating much fatty fish, if you don't have many like chia seeds, walnuts, things like that.
yeah,
A lot of the time, I don't like fish, so a lot of the time, most people who don't eat fish will not get the right amount of omega-3s anyway. So
yeah.
that's something to consider as well. Um, so important for your heart health and your brain health as well. I know you mentioned the multivitamins with the cod liver from 70, so just send me a picture of that one, the back of it and what it's got in it, and we can see if
Yeah.
there's enough of everything in it.
I was just checking.
Um,
It's got cod liver oil and fish oil in it as well. So I'll send a picture of this on the chat.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. And then the main one that I would recommend to absolutely anyone, men, women, old, young, is creatine. I don't know if you've ever taken it or ever heard of it, but it is the most research-backed supplement, so much evidence behind it for what it does. And essentially it will, with you training in the gym, it will help your recovery process.
Yeah,
But it also has now research behind it that in terms of cognitive function, memory, and things like that, it can be very useful with that as well. So creatine is just one of the things that I always recommend to people. And to give you like a reason why I do recommend it, another reason is because to get the amount of creatine you get in a scoop, you'd have to eat like 400 grams of steak, for example.
okay.
And no one can really, and
Yeah,
that's daily as well. So it's just
okay.
like, just to get the 3 to 5 gram scoop, take that on a day to day and get the benefits from it. So
That's good to know. Because yeah, I was just going through the coaching notes yesterday, and I think it's mentioned in one of them to get like protein whey as well as creatine. So I've ordered that. I should be getting that today, hopefully. So
oh,
I'll
perfect.
start taking that when it arrives. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and that was going to be the last one I was pretty much going to touch on is protein. Again, going forward, obviously we'll be monitoring like the food intake from the plan and how it changes and whatnot. And yeah, if protein is low, then a good quality protein powder is definitely useful to help just top it up. Like I always say, you don't want to be relying on protein bars, like yogurts, powders, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it can be a useful tool if you get like 40 grams in one day, then you can just have a shake and you've got another 20 grams, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always recommend a particular brand, but what brand did you get?
My protein.
Okay.
From there. I've done it in the past when I used to go back to the gym and stuff, so I've just
Yeah,
ordered from them again.
perfect. All right. Okay, so that's ordered anyway, so that's fine. So yeah, you got a protein powder, so that can be incorporated as well.
Yeah.
So perfect. Yeah, in terms of supplements, like I don't really recommend too many at the start. Like those will be a good stack. The last one that I do recommend, which Dills loves it when I say it, he can't say it, but he knows what's coming. Um, is I wouldn't even call it a supplement, but it's something called psyllium husk. So this kind of links to the next part about gut health. All this basically is just just pure fiber. Um,
Okay.
and why it's kind of like almost comes under supplement is because it's like have you ever eaten yeah, you can get it
Oh,
from
okay.
bulks but you can even just go into like a random health store and get it. All I say is it's just make sure it's the powder version, not
Okay.
a tablet. And yeah, it's literally just fiber. So for us, we're very big on fiber intake, not just, smashing protein and protein bars and whatnot, because it links to gut health, which is the next thing. So
Mhm.
yeah, selenium husk you can get from a lot of places. I'll send over the place that I get it from, just a Whole Foods online thing. It's
Yeah, I
like
was going to say a link would be great because
yeah.
never heard of that before. So yeah.
Yeah, no, not a lot of people have, so don't worry. I'll send over a link. It's you can get like 250 grams for like a fiver, so it's not like an
Okay.
expensive thing, but it is very, very useful. Pre-warning, as always, it's not the nicest thing to take because it kind of Have you ever had Ready Brek before? Heard of
No.
it? It kind of just looks like that. It just kind of looks like
Brown is very, very brown, and
yeah,
I,
it's
I,
like flaky oats. It
Raj,
will.
Okay.
I couldn't have it by itself, so I mixed it into like a porridge or mixed it into a yogurt, so you
Yeah.
can't taste it. But the benefits, obviously, like Luke will explain how beneficial it is for your gut. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very useful tool because like 10 grams of it almost has about 10 grams of fiber. So like it potentially even more. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's got a lot of fiber for little to no effort essentially. And a
Yeah.
lot of people struggle to get fiber in. So you've already got a third of the recommended amount in just a little basically spoonful of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of gut health, I'm very big on gut health and that side of things because it's all good and well, having a healthy diet and eating loads of protein, but if your gut's not in check, you're going to get bloated, you're going to get brain fog, you're not going to feel great, and it's going to make the changes that we want to make to your body a lot
Mhm.
harder
Yeah.
because your gut's not going to be absorbing things well. So to start with, I always just cover three minor things: fiber intake, fermented foods. So if you haven't heard of them, I'll just touch on them and plant variety. So these are the three things to just focus on from the start. I don't want to overwhelm you with a load of information today, and it will all be summarized in a plan anyway. So don't worry, I won't just have all of this stuff
Yeah.
is for me to work with. So fiber, the main thing you want to do is just increase that just from the bat to 20, 30 grams a day. And like I say, that psyllium husk will give you 10 grams, but you might get a lot of fiber naturally in your diet anyway. So we can look into that as well. Fermented foods are basically foods that have good bacteria. And your gut, when it's not in the best place, has more of the bad bacteria. So the fiber that you're having will feed the fermented foods, which are the good bacteria, and it's a great combo to have. And fermented foods are just things like kefir, if you've ever heard of that,
No.
sauerkraut, kimchi, and just adding like one of those or one portion of those a day will make a massive impact on your gut as well. So that's something we can look into. And then the last thing is just plant variety. And when I say plants, it's not just fruit and veg. It's things like herbs. So what you cook your food in, seeds, nuts, all these different things. So you could cook your food in paprika, cumin. I know a lot of South Asian food has a lot of herbs and spices anyway, so that's good
Yeah.
because that provides a lot of variety. And all you want is just off the top of your head, just think 30 plus plants per week. So that could be apples, blueberries, black currants, strawberries, whatever. Then it could be paprika, cumin, and that all adds up, and that's just over a week. So
Okay.
you're not going to hit that every week, but just try
Try
and
and
have as
get close.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
just have as much variety as you can because your gut loves variety. So those are the three things to think about when it comes to the gut health, just from the off. Obviously, there's loads of different things. Drinking enough water. That's
Hmm.
something as simple as that.
Yeah.
Walking a little bit more, maybe potentially adding like a 10-minute walk after a meal just to help your digestion.
Yeah.
Just little things like that will massively help as well. So yeah, in terms of that, that is pretty much everything covered. Sorry, went on a little bit longer
That's
than
fine.
anticipated. But yeah, in terms of that, what I'm going to do now is take away all of this information and just basically cook up a plan for you, give you ideas to help you with like the stuff that you do want to start to cook and whatnot, how you can basically take these meals, if it does load, from, being quite carb heavy and lacking a lot of protein and fiber to just having the same meals but adding some sauces in terms of protein source, in terms of fiber sources that will keep you full, hit your macros, and basically allow us to make progress essentially. So in terms of that, that's pretty much the next steps. But we covered a lot, I know.
Yeah.
So do you have any immediate questions on anything that we discussed?
Uh, in terms of questions, not much. I think, yeah, in terms of obviously the pictures I've been sending through, because obviously we've been in this phase where we're in that Indian festival. I've been having vegetarian, but obviously I do eat non-veg, so there's other stuff. So what I'll do is, even if I don't eat it, I'll send pictures of what it looks like, so at least you guys have an idea of what my day to day might be like.
Mm.
And yeah, when you're doing the plan, I think, yeah, in terms of food and stuff, if you could send, obviously, I've seen links to like recipe books and stuff. If you
Yeah.
could give me an example of, okay, maybe you've tried this recipe, then feel free to put that in the plan because I'm more than happy to sort of give that a go and try it. So
Yeah.
uh, that would be really good as well. Yeah,
Just on
this is
that,
like mine. Sorry.
just on that, sorry, while you touched on it, it on the sorry, my Mac, let me just plug in. Um, on the app, on the True Coach app,
Yeah.
if you are doing it on a computer, it will look like this. If it's on your phone, it might look slightly different and just be in a different section. But if you go to library, I
Mhm.
hope that saves. Please don't tell me I'm going to lose all that. Um, and then go to documents. This just extra bits, but there's a load of different recipe books as well. So you've got some from deals from uh there's loads here, and then just loads of different recipe
Yeah, mate.
books.
Like we've got lots of recipes to kind of look over, but I'm very, very excited because this call, like,
I don't think it's saved.
hopefully this call has been very, very insightful. Because right now we just want to get you an understanding of, okay, what nutrition am I kind of consuming? What are the calories under the radar?
Yeah.
Obviously, I was gonna jump in earlier, but for some reason I think there's something wrong with my computer. But obviously, what you said to me in the consultation call was very, very powerful in regards to you trying to make a detriment of like effect not only on yourself but your family. So
Mhm.
relaying this stuff to your mum as well is very, very important. So whenever I cook my food with my mum, for example, I'll be like, I use less Dell or do
Yeah.
Z. But obviously, with today, like today's more about okay, understanding what could be done better. But now, as the weeks do go forward, like keep sending pictures of your food because then we can see it visually like represent it on your plate. So and days that you are vegetarian, simply do let us know. I know it was Novarti recently, so I completely understand that. And like our clients are vegetarian all the time, so what we can also do is create another game plan for you for when you are going vegetarian for a day or two. So yeah, let us know in regards to that as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do. I think from the bat, I'd say Mondays I'm vegetarian, and then it sort of depends on what other days. So I'll keep a lookout on the calendar and stuff, and just keep you guys posted if that's the case for
Yeah.
the week ahead, I guess.
No problem.
So yeah, that's fine. One question I did have was just on the plan for today in terms of the workout. So there's a back lifts that you talked about to do my body weight. Obviously, I've not really done it for a while, so if I adjust the weight, that's fine, right? Or does it have to be?
I mean, like, do what you feel comfortable with. The last thing I want you to do is go there, lift on 20, 40 plates on it, and then
Yeah, yeah,
like so. Just do what you feel comfortable with. I mean, if you did back squat in the past, then go for it. If not, then stick to body weight. Because, like I said, we're just trying to get you into the gym, get you going consistently. That's the most important thing here, Raj. So I keep looking at Rav and seeing him. I get confused
oh,
myself.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what I want you to do in terms of workout for like the first workout. But I'm
Yeah.
happy to see that obviously we're gonna get this motion, getting stuff into motion now. In terms of nutrition, I like to ask you this, right? What's the most powerful thing that you've learned today?
For me, it's as I talk and as I've been sending pictures, I've sort of reflected on how I am eating, and I can definitely see where the areas I can improve on, like the soft drinks, for example. I knew because I used to eat a lot of crisp like back in the days where I've slowly reduced that even before meeting you guys, but I know that's definitely made a difference. So I think for that, that's going to help you a lot, and also just around the gut element. Obviously, I didn't even hear of the name before, so it's
Bit,
it's
mate.
good to know about that. And yeah, just looking forward to giving it a go and see the differences it could potentially make.
No, of course, is it going to be very, very game changing for us? Like, obviously, diving into your check-in more next week. Look at like the energy effects of avoiding crashes.
Yeah.
But what I want you to understand is if there's any questions you have regarding nutrition training, anything, like it could be from the smallest things, it's like just our clients do see the biggest benefit when they run to us, not away from us. So any questions regarding anything, whether that's the smallest thing or the biggest thing, just simply let us know. But what we need to understand with nutrition, like right now, we've gathered this data, and you've been absolutely phenomenal so far by sending this data in for us to understand. And now going forward is all about implementation, which I'm very, very looking forward to, mate. So yeah, looking forward to this, mate.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Two things from me actually. More with the protein and the creatine and stuff. How do you guys recommend taking it? Do you take it like one after another, or is it take one in the
So,
morning, one a couple of hours
with
later,
creatine,
before workout, after?
with creatine and what is it, whey protein. So right now with whey, we know that we need to implement it in your diet. And obviously, Luke will go away and cook away a plan for you. But with whey, you can do a lot of different things with it. You can drink it. I tend to have it in my yogurt bowl, so I have like a yogurt bowl base or porridge base, and then mix it with it in.
Okay,
So it kind of breaks 30 grams in. In terms of creatine, what I recommend you do is just 5 grams a day. A lot of my clients put it in their coffees or anything, but I personally have it with squash. I mix
okay,
it with squash. With creatine, you want to make sure it's an unflavored one because if it is flavored, what tends to happen with creatine, a flavored creatine, they normally put like 5 grams of it, and 3 grams of it is just flavoring. So it's a marketing trick. So um,
gotcha.
go for unflavored as well. But in terms of supplementation, like we'll send you links. I personally use bulk. That's my personal preference. I know Luke may have someone else, but in terms of creatine as well, what I would also say in terms of taking it, there's not a specific time. As long as you take it same time every single day, so there's a consistent flow of 24 hours in your body, it'd be
Yeah,
good. I always have it at the same time every single day. And also I just heard upon your supplementation stack as well earlier. It's very, very important that us as South Asians in particular take vitamin D. That's the most important, if anything, especially because we're going into the winter months now. What I
yeah,
would say as well, like I touched upon this on your onboarding, making sure it's a visual cue. That's the most important thing. So like Luke said, have it. I think I've heard him say it. He said have it next to your coffee machine or something. But as long as it's a visual cue in your eyesight, that's going to allow you to keep consistent, mate, for
yeah.
sure.
Okay, no, that's fine. Um, yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, this is my sort of first time having a coach or nutrition and stuff like that. So do bear with me if I'm
Mm.
yeah, just let me know if there's something I could be doing better, or you need information from me to chase up on. I'll try my best to do that. But yeah, I'll definitely have a lot of questions as we sort of
Yeah,
move ahead with today's workout, and then obviously when the nutrition plan comes through. Do you think that'll be roughly next week or?
yeah. So
I'll get it done by the end of the week. So yeah, should be with you by tomorrow.
That's fine.
Hopefully
Yeah.
by the end of this day. So yeah, no, it won't be next week. It will definitely be over the next few days for sure.
Okay. Cool. That's fine. No worries. Cool. No, no. Thank you for the call, guys. It's good to speak to people around this. So, um, yeah, getting to self-reflect on how my journey is at the moment. So the next time we talk in a couple of weeks' time, and every week, I can see that progress going forward. So yeah, looking forward to the journey.
and that's amazing. Also, what's very, very powerful, like you said to me in the consultation here, Raj, is creating that effect where it has a domino effect in terms of your family, which you'll naturally see off the bat. And for me, and in this situation with you as well, it's relaying information to your mom, especially because obviously she's not going to be too clued up of doing specific work. For example, like my bar and my dad are from here, from India right now, and they see the food I eat. They're like, what bakwas is this? Like, what are you eating
Yeah,
this
yeah,
food? Like, I've got belly, you don't. But my point is, like, it takes some self awareness, but like what will be more beneficial for you is if you keep consistently learning. Because what we do every single week is we're gonna have calls, webinars, all this stuff to kind of keep your education on point as well. Because for us, it's us as coaches, is to keep you consistently learning. So, like I said, any questions regarding also how to deal with mom and help mom and understand or separate your food portions or stuff, but I've been there. So, just simply let us know. And like I said, we're here every single step of the way, and I'm very, very excited to kickstart your journey. And let me know how that workout goes tonight as well.
yeah. We'll do. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, looking forward to it.
Anything else, mate? Any questions?
No, that's all from me. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for your time today. Yeah, just look ready to go now, I guess.
Yeah. One thing I have to say is that's crazy amount of Coke and Fanta.
I know.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know.
I'm like, wait a second, wait, every single meal. That's insane. But no,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I'm happy to see that you're self-aware, which is brilliant. But no, I am very, very excited to have you on board here, Raj. And any questions regarding anything, just simply let us know, mate. Yeah, we've got you for life. All
Yeah.
right.
Appreciate that, guys. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah.
Cool.
Have a
Take care,
great day.
guys. See ya.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.